I do know that Tampa Bay Buccaneers are automatically moving into contention. That is just something that happened. They went from 40-1 odds to win the Super Bowl to 22-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. And I assume those odds are just going to get worse and worse for the gamblers, because the more and more you hear stories about players wanting to come to Tampa to ring chase, basically saying, we'll take deals. We'll take less money to come to Tampa Bay. We just want to play with the GOAT and potentially win a Super Bowl down here. Just like everybody used to do with New England. They were willing to take pay cuts to go to New England because they knew it was going to be winning football. They knew it was going to be good football. There's going to be a chance they get the Super Bowl. And now, if you want to get a tail of the tape here on who's going to be better off, all the players that are ring chasing are chasing Tom Brady to Tampa Bay as opposed to chasing Bill Belichick. Now, I don't know what that says. I don't know what these players are saying, but it is being reported that a lot of players have reached out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and saying that they want to play there. They'll even play there for cheaper prices. This is obviously new times for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It hasn't been like this for a long time. Tampa Bay Buccaneers almost disappeared out of relevance completely until it was a little bit of a piece of news that Jameis Winston was about to throw 30 interceptions, and all of a sudden it became must-see television. Here's a guy who's leading the NFL in pass yards, but he'll keep his team and the other team in the game at the same time. That became must-watch television, but for the wrong reasons. Tom Brady going down there now with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and if Antonio Brown is going to be able to get down there, even though BA allegedly is not the biggest fan of the move, will Tom Brady and Bruce be able to come to an
agreement?
Yeah, but I was trying to figure out there's a better word there I could have used.
Parlay.
There it is. A parlay where, hey, we get this, you get that. They're going to have to start negotiating who has roster control, because it came out that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are giving Tom roster control or help be a part of roster control immediately upon that with Antonio Brown. But you join him in there. That offense is really good. And let's say you have some older offensive linemen that are also very good at football, who are kind of at the tail ends of their career, who could probably they could probably push their body through perfect technique for another 20 games if they had to, if it was going to result in a Super Bowl. I mean, we know a couple of those humans, and we haven't asked them outright, but I would assume from knowing those humans, those people would go and do that for a chance to win a Super Bowl and also be Tom Brady's teammate forever. The Tampa Tommy thing that is happening is massive for the city of Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay Lightning are good at hockey. They were great last year until they collapsed in the playoffs, but maybe they won't do that if this NHL season happens and then back-to-back to the next season. The Tampa Bay Rays, I guess, are good at baseball. Who cares? But I guess they're good at baseball. Bill Gates is building a town down there, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that pirate ship stadium is going to be sold out every single week. It's a great time to be in Tampa Bay. And wait until Tom Brady moves that house or whatever house he builds down there. If it looks anything like the house that he signed his contract in, it's going to look like a damn diner behind him. He had those plates and those bowls up there. It looked like it was a buffet in the restaurant. There's no front to the cupboard. He has a chef, obviously. I mean, he obviously has a chef.
Some cabinets.
But they don't have cabinets. You got to remember, it's like back of a restaurant. They got chefs in there, like just plating the food, sliding it over to Giselle, who's sliding it to Tom, who's potentially sliding it to Jack, who's potentially sliding it to Guerrero, who's potentially sliding. You know what I mean? That's the way they operate. We don't know how they operate. It's more like a buffet, I think, at a restaurant. But what Tom Brady said was he's excited, humble, and hungry. If there's one thing that I've learned about football, it's that nobody cares what you did last year or the year before that. You earn the trust and respect of those around you. He missed a word there. You earn the trust and respect of those around, I guess you could say, of those around through your commitment every single day. I'm starting a new football journey and thankful for the Buccaneers for giving me an opportunity to do what I love. $60 million too. I mean, 2 years, $60 million. I look forward to meeting all my new teammates and coaches and proving to them that they can believe and trust in me. I think you've proven that, but I respect that you still have that mentality of that guy who couldn't run a good 40 or a 3-cone drill and wasn't drafted until pick 199 or something like that. I've always believed that well done is better than well said. So I'm not going to say much more. I'm just going to get to work. #year1. P.S. Jack Brady with the photo grid. Rally the troops down in Tampa Bay. They're all ready to go run through a wall. I think it's going to come out, and I said this yesterday, I don't remember if it was Hawk and McAfee or this show. I think it's going to come out that Peyton Manning was a massive piece of advice and of counsel to Tom Brady when he made this decision. Clyde Christensen, the quarterback coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is one of Peyton Manning's favorite people, like one of his favorite ever people. They've gone on USO trips together. They're like, Clyde Christensen's the reason I got invited on that golf trip where the casino Red 18 hit because Clyde and Peyton are so tight. And Clyde met me like in the dining hall and was like, all right, I think Peyton would like Pat, right? That's literally how Clyde speaks. He's like this optimistic guy. He is a guy I would assume that Peyton and Tom, whenever they talk about it, because there's no other quarterback that Tom can really talk to in this particular situation. I mean, I guess you could talk to Montana or whoever back in the day that this had happened to, but that they're so out of touch, and it's a whole new world in the NFL right now with money and social media and the way things are covered and talked about. And Peyton Manning, literally the only other quarterback who's won a Super Bowl starting for two different teams, the only one. Tom and Peyton are friends. They're golfing in Jim Nance's backyard. I would assume that whenever Tampa was brought up from Tom to Peyton, Peyton talked about Clyde Christensen, Bruce Arians, that entire coaching staff, and was like, hey, you're going to love these guys. They'll love you. Go to work there. I would assume that's going to come out and get leaked as this story unfolds further down the road. Breaking news via Adam Schefter. The details of Tampa Tommy's contract have come out. 2 years, $50 million guaranteed with an extra $9 million in incentives, 4.5 per each year. Tom Brady now is making the exact same as Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. His contracts just so happen to be fully guaranteed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for $50 million. This contract also prohibits tags and trades. So in 2 years, after gaining another $50 million, let's assume $59 million, if all the incentives are hit, he will be able to potentially re-up again at the age of 44 if he's still got any juice left in the old arm after potentially winning a Super Bowl for the pirate ship, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You think Phil's like, hey, look at me. I got the same as Tom and Drew.
Yeah, but I think Phil's also potentially feels like those are guaranteed. Mine, I don't think is. I don't know. $25 million guaranteed, potentially. Chris Ballard gave Jacoby Brissett, I think, a fully guaranteed $20 million deal each. I think those are fully guaranteed deals. So maybe he did with Phillip Rivers. I said that I thought fully guaranteed contracts at a lesser value was going to become the new standard in the NFL because of the way the salary cap was getting hemorrhaged by quarterback contracts, right? So quarterback contracts were so big, they're eating up like 30, 35%, 25% of the salary cap. And then when you have to build the other 52 players, now potentially more players with the new CBA, it was becoming very difficult for a lot of teams. So I assume like the Kirk Cousins deal, like the Jacoby deal, like other deals that have happened, that the fully guaranteed deal was going to become the new wave in the NFL, which is what players have always wanted, by the way, in their CBA negotiations. I thought that was going to happen at lesser dollars. Now we got Tom Brady taking a $50 million fully guaranteed deal. Good for him. Good for his family, too, by the way. The Tom Brady's family, the extra $50 million guarantee.
They need it.
Yeah.
Bad.
Especially to Bill Gates, too. Mm-hmm. You know, Bill Gates is a friend of his, I guess, a confidant of his. Derek Jeter, owner of the Lightnings, are thinking about doing some real estate rebuilding down there. They're going to need every dollar to really make sure that Tampa Tommytown down there in Tampa Bay, revolving around Tom Brady's TB12 treatment center, TB12 rehab facility, TB12 casino, TB12 restaurant, TB12 diner in the middle of Tampa Bay. After TB12 brings them a couple Super Bowls back to Tampa, we have $50 million is what's needed to make sure that really gets off the ground quickly.